Hello, before we get started with today's stream, we would like to go ahead and give a special thanks to the following people. First of all, we'd like to go ahead and thank Mithril and Rel over at RPG for obviously fixing all bugs and glitches and all those doodads that have been making the Outfit War experience on Nexus a little bit painful, but they are actively working and we appreciate them, obviously, for all the work that they're putting in for this game. In addition, I'd also like to go ahead and thank Planetside Battles, specifically on the staff, Varunda, who has been extremely instrumental with getting all the back-end stuff working for our overlay. I'd also like to go ahead and shout out Reltor and Sergeant Mile, obviously, for being our go-to organizers for PSP. And obviously, in addition to that, anyone else that I haven't really mentioned because I'm not exactly sure what your responsibilities are and roles are in PSP. I appreciate all of you. In addition as well, I'd like to go ahead and thank Zulfer for the map overview that you guys will see later today. In addition to that, the overlay has also been reworked by Litty and Infills. There is a new map overlay that you guys will see shortly once we get into the in-game environment. And obviously, of course, I'd like to give a shout out to my friend Casey, who worked on some music vocals in some other video packages that we have in store later on in the stream. And we'd also like to go ahead and thank our sponsor, Nanite Systems. You know what? I'll tell you what. I have a nap anytime I feel like having one right on my fingertips here, because right in my man cave, I have one of the fine feathered mattresses from Nanite Systems. No, I'm kidding, folks. They don't have feathers in them. It's just that it feels like you're sleeping in a bird's nest. It really does. Actually, without the sharp thorns that sometimes invade a bird's nest. With the Nanite Systems mattresses, you will have the best night's sleep in your life. As a matter of fact, if you tip up some nanite water and then you lay down on a Nanite Systems mattress, holy mackerel, you're farting through silk. You are shitting on high cotton there. The Nanite Systems mattress, folks, is delivered right to your door, boxed up. The unboxing is a marvel. It's a miracle to behold. But it's delivered right to your door without horrible, big, beefy, burly men tracking mud all over your carpets and dragging it in where it's supposed to go to. A normal planet man or planet woman, because we appreciate everyone here, can put it in the right place and then unbox it and let it come to life in miraculous fashion, causing no injuries to anyone and sending you into a hospital. It's not like an I Love Lucy lifeboat. Don't want to think, it's Nanite Systems. I don't want to think anyone is dangerous. I always want everyone to know that Nanite Systems products put you in good hands. They're very reliable to use, and as a matter of fact, this thing don't got no sharp edges on this mattress. You can't cut yourself. It's incredible. Anyway, you go to Sanctuary, you take a quiz. It takes 2 minutes. And it matches your body type and sleep preferences to the specific mattress for you, because they make several different mattress models to choose from. They got gamer, and gaming. They got mattresses that cool you down. Mattresses that are great for spinal alignment, morning aches and pains. That's something that is prevalent amongst our viewers. And once you take that quiz, they match you up with a mattress. Then you got 10-year warranty. And you get to try it out for 100 nights risk-free. 100 nights risk-free. That's nearly 3 months. And they'll even pick it up for you if you don't love it. You will love it. You will make love to this mattress every night. You'll kick your body pillow out of the bed, and you'll make love to this mattress. They're flexible. They're contortionist even. So a great night's sleep is never far away. Folks, right now, Nanite Systems is offering up to 200 certs off of mattress orders and 2 free pillows for our viewers. Go fill out the quiz, get those free pillows, and you can find out how flexible these mattresses are. You can twist them. You can stick their toes in their ears. They're flexible. Did you know, actually, that there are over 1 billion hours that have been slept on Nanite Systems mattresses? And you might be wondering how they got those statistics. Well, it's easy. You see, if you let's say that I've sold X number of mattresses, and you figure out, let's say, there's an average of 1.5 people. Shoot, well, I'll tell you what that half a person is easier to sleep with, because you don't take up as much room, but goddamn, they're cranky when they wake up. But let's say that there's 2 people. So every mattress they've sold, they've had 2 people sleeping on it. Now you figure out that most people sleep 8 hours a night, but you got to take out butt stuff time because they're manufacturing a mattress, and that's a dream to lay down on. So you got to figure out at some point they're going to do some fun stuff. And so you take out an hour per mattress per day for fun stuff times how many mattresses you've sold divided by the number of people that actually sleep on those mattresses, and you have at least a 66 2/3 chance of people doing fun stuff on that mattress before they sleep 1 billion hours. The margin of error for this is approximately plus or minus infinity. 99 Systems, folks. They're a dream, and we don't even know about the pillows. So next time you ask a guy or girl out for a boba, accidentally mention if they want to go out for a booba, and then correct yourself. Then maybe contest on a 99 Systems mattress. And a Sanctuary, check it out today. There you go. There is your daily dose of cringe. My name is Falco. I will be casting for today's stream. Today's matchup is going to be pretty cool. We're going to have Recursion versus FIFA. Unfortunately, my co-caster Trulius is having some major issues on his end, so I'm going to be anticipating having to do this solo. Unless, something else is going to end up happening and he'll be able to join back in. It's looking like it's going to be an unrecoverable thing that he's dealing with right now. So, I apologize in advance. We actually tried to get multicam going, and we did get it going earlier in the day, but that's just kind of how it is sometimes. Anyway, yeah, so I'll be solo casting today, and hopefully I'll be able to give you guys a good cast given the teams that we have going on against each other. Let's go over the Alpha Wars game mode overview. So again, this is Nexus, so we're looking at Alpha versus Omega, Red versus Blue. It is a singular match scheduled for 1 fall or most territory controlled with a 45-minute match time limit, with a 20-minute pre-match phase, a maximum of 48 players per team. The rule set is as follows: Bastion Fleet Carriers disallowed, Colossus Tanks disallowed, Construction disallowed, and mid-match join is also disallowed as well. Although I think there's kind of a fix for the mid-match join. I'm not exactly too sure what the specifics are for that, but there is a fix apparently where if you end up leaving the match, you actually still... The bug is that you still took up a slot, but when you leave the match, you no longer take up a slot. So I'm not exactly sure what's going on with that, but that's a fix. You can look at it in the patch notes that were released. Apparently that fix was done yesterday. Let's go ahead and take a look at the map overview that we got going on. Again, in case you're not familiar with Nexus, this is the Nexus map. It is very snowy. There's a lot of terrain. There's 9 bases total. Like I mentioned before, there's no construction, no bastions, no Colossus tanks. But all other outfit resources are allowed. It's going to be Red versus Blue, so Alpha versus Omega, and they'll both start on their opposite warp gates. Let's start off with neutral bases that are in the middle of the map. First off, we got Bitter Gorge Garrison, which is a 3-point base. 2-minute, 20-second fast cap if you capture all 3 bases and hold them the entirety of the time. You have a point that's underneath. You have... Is this one the one that has a point underneath? There is a point underneath, and you have 1 point in a powerhouse and 1 point in a triple stack. Granite Head Reactor. Excuse me, Bitter Gorge was a mirrored base with one point that was out in the open in the middle, and then 2 triple stacks. Bitter Gorge is the one that had the 1 point underground, 1 point in triple, and then the other point that is in powerhouse. We also have Erzat Satcom Hub, which is the pseudo tech plant, with a point on the ground floor, a point in the second floor, and then lastly the square building on the top floor. And then we also have home bases as well. These bases are a 4-minute capture, starting off with Hydroponics Compound / Nexus Secure Substation. The point for this base is going to be held inside of a powerhouse. This specific powerhouse is kind of divided in 2. So typically the lobby, you'd have access to like the actual lobby space compartment via the big stairs, but you don't have it in that case. We also have Nexus Alpha and Nexus Omega, which is going to be your warp gate base. It's going to be a 7-minute capture. Fairly difficult point hold. If you capture this base, that's basically it. Lastly, we also have Argent Pass and Slate Canyon Hold, which is a 1-point base for minute cap. It has 5 bridges that lead onto the point. And that is basically it for all of our bases. A very quick overview for what we have over in Nexus. Obviously, we'll have more time to kind of go over through all those bases on the map during the prep phase. But as it stands, that is Nexus 2022. And Trulius apparently is actually coming back into the call. So we'll go ahead and wait for his presence and see what's going on with that when he comes back in here. But anyway, like I mentioned, this is going to be Recursion versus FIFA. And as far as I'm concerned, currently as of right now with the current ranking system, this is actually a powerhouse outfit versus another powerhouse outfit. We're both looking at #1 contenders for gold match later on in the season, both Recursion and FIFA. They both are very strong teams, and I honestly wouldn't be surprised if we had a really good matchup today. And coming in hot is the man himself, Trulius. How you doing, bud?
Hello.
Hello.
Oh, dude, that was an interesting couple minutes. Holy crap.
All right. Well, so yeah, stream, say hello to Trulius. He has managed to recover his computer, and we are back in full action. So
I made the mistake of reinstalling today, and that was a bad idea.
Yeah, reinstalling Windows, that could totally never go wrong on the day of a stream. But anyway,
yeah.
Let's go ahead and take a look at some outfit statistics. First of all, we got Recursion. They are going into this with a 2-0 record on Outfit Wars. Let me set this up real quick for Trulius. Cool. So they have a ranking score of 818. Their leader, according to their NS Connery outfit, is Exploding Fist. Their faction is NC. Did I say NS earlier? I meant to say NC. Their member count is 265 with a monthly activity of 37.74%. They have a kill-death ratio, so this isn't exactly the precise kill-death ratio accumulated through total kills and total deaths. This is more so averaged out between the match stat itself. So this kill death over here is going to be 2.83 with a headshot ratio of Alpha Wars being 26.77%. Their capture count going into this match is 15 bases captured across all of their matches, and when you look at all the stats, they've dominated in terms of base captures. Inversely, we are going to be looking at Omega, which is going to be FIFA. The Omega team, they are also on NC. They are going into this also with a 2-0 record and a ranking score of 762. Their leader is Sir Jordo25. They have a member count of 141 with a monthly activity of 76.60%. Their Alpha War kill death ratio is 2.10 with a headshot ratio of 18.52, and also a total base capture count of 15. So also a very strong outfit. And that's basically going to be our setup for today of Recursion versus FIFA. Trulius, how do you think about, what are you thinking about this match that we got going on here? I think they're both incredibly strong teams.
They are. I'm actually quite excited to see what each brings to this match. We did actually get to see our Recursion match earlier today against Gobs. And it looks like Gobs actually took that match. So it'll be interesting to see if Recursion comes back with something a little bit different, if they change up their tactics or if they stick with the same tactic coming into this match, because Gobs is quite well known for being similar with FIFA.
All right, so I am getting everything set up on my end for the stream. So here we go. I got the map open right now. Yeah, no, Recursion, in case y'all missed it, so this was also on the primary channel for Planetside Battles. In case you missed it, the Recursion Gobs match was pretty intense. Recursion, unfortunately for them, weren't really able to muster up a lead, I think, at all throughout the match. Gobs really had them there. A lot of it came down to, as far as what I could tell, cheese. They had a lot of vehicular kills. They were utilizing vehicles well. In addition to that, they also just straight up outgunned Recursion. They had more kills than them. They were also out reviving Recursion as well, if I recall correctly. So I think going into this match, FIFA might want to kind of adopt some of those ideas and really try to cheese it to Recursion early on. Especially early on when you try to choose it, because of the fact that later on in the match you can have nanite drain, so it can be a little bit more difficult to pull those resources when you really need them. Recursion has been known inversely to, they are known to also pull a decent amount of cheese early on. But a common thing that I've noticed lately with their matches is that unlike most teams, they tend to be a little bit more lax on the air during mid to end game. They really will only use air when they need it. So they don't exactly, I don't think they really prioritize air too much unless they absolutely need it. So that is that. Let me try to go ahead and start to get this freaking this overlay going. So yeah,
we've got about 3 minutes left till the match. I will say in the previous match that we watched earlier today on the this channel,
on this channel, yeah.
It was on this channel. Gobs actually ended up on their Nexus, and Recursion were able to take it back within 1 second. It was one heck of a match. For those of you that haven't watched it, make sure you go check that one out. You should be able to see the recaps down below. Recursion definitely brought back as much as they could, but Gobs just kept on the pressure. And once you get the pressure, once you get the head start here, it's very tough to bring it back, especially if you have very equally matched teams like Recursion and Gobs were on Emerald. So coming into this, FIFA is definitely looking good. Recursion is the favorite, of course, but we'll just have to see what FIFA decides to do in order to try and counter whatever Recursion tries to bring, and vice versa. I'm sure they've both spent a lot of time doing their scouting, being that, Recursion's quite well known for being, the high-end skill fit of Connery. It'll be interesting to see what FIFA decides. They are a conglomerate of outfits, so they're not exactly just by themselves like Recursion are. So we'll see. I'm not sure what to expect.
Yeah, I mean, Recursion definitely like stronger infantry-wise for sure. I mean, there's no like argument about that. I'd just like to see Recursion really pull out the cheese and just freaking go in on it. I think something that I noticed when Recursion was held up back to their warp gate was that they weren't afraid of poking outside of their warp gate too, which I think is pretty, it's a decent thing to do. Whenever it comes down to your last bases, sometimes what ends up happening is that there might be a lattice line that's still available, and the opposing team doesn't bother trying to capture it, and that would still allow for the defending team to go around and potentially start doing some big brain 1000 IQ map plays. So yes, so just kind of like to see what's gonna happen there. We have about a minute left. Let me go ahead and check to see if our live feed is not working yet, Trulius.
It should be up. That's interesting. Let me find out.
Looking for game to capture. We are already seeing some anvils coming down. We have 40 minutes left on the timer, so we're gonna go ahead and take a look at some openers going on. So let's move over to Alpha. Alpha will be
clear out of that area.
Recursion, and they have some pancakes, some Reavers, not too many galaxies. They have a Libby that's up there. We go over to FIFA.
Leave the restricted area.
Lots of Reavers, definitely. I see one galaxy over there, one Valkyrie, tank.
And quite a few Valkyries. It looks like they've got 3 Valkyries up with a galaxy, whereas Recursion doesn't look like they got much for that. That's for sure. The Steel Rain already coming out though. Holy crap!
Look at that. All right, so
2 Steel Rains.
2 Steel Rains coming down from Recursion. So let's see if they time this correctly, because I know some other outfits have had issues with timing those Steel Rains. So
it looks like they timed it right because it's coming down.
Yeah,
right
there we
on
go.
time.
So we got one drop over at Airzet Satcom, and then the other drop I believe over at Bitter Gorge, not Bitter Gorge, Granite Head, potentially.
Granite Head, correct.
Yeah, if we take a look at the air right now, of course it's kind of a hellhole with all these Reavers. Thank God that colored name tags are working. So,
yes.
Gelos hosting for this matchup. For those of you who are just joining in, this is the Recursion versus FIFA matchup. So, right now we have the opener, and it looks to be, as always, when it comes to these Nexus openers, non-stop hell from the air. If we take a look over at Bitter Gorge Garrison, we see that we have, if I go over to B, no one's really over by B. A point is being held down by FEFA. C point is being held down by FEFA as well. But Medieval Welder coming in, contesting the point, taking out Endy in the process, and he is flipping C for Recursion. Let's make our way over to our Granite Head Reactor right now. We see FEFA heavily populating C point, and they are now heading over to B point to contest. And they have B point uncontested at all. A point, there's Clubbins in his Lightning. A point appears to not really have anyone. I think what's going on here is Recursion is just coming in, starting the timer, forcing FIFA to have to worry about those timers instead of waiting last minute.
That's what it's looking like.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was saying, I'm also looking at the FIFA match at Granite Head. They're pretty heavy on C and B point. We do have a little bit of Recursion. Still not working, eh? Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it looks like we're using your stream. There's very little coming from Recursion at Granite Head currently. It looks like they're putting all their eggs in the basket over at Arzak.
Yeah, Arzak is the pseudo tech plant. They have all 3 points here, but there's still 30 seconds left. That's more than enough time to flip this. So I think it'd be very interesting to see how the map play goes for the beginning part of the matchup. You know, interesting to see what point steals happen, what captures occur, etc. and so forth. And of course, again, as mentioned earlier, we do have our layout map there that I just circled.
So Recursion has left Arazak completely. It's looking like they're going to let that cap go through. They've put a squad up towards Hydroponics, and they've put a good 2 squads up at Bitter Gorge. So there goes Arazak. It looks like that's gone in the way of Recursion. Granite Head is now contested. They have an equal pop at 24 to 48. Looks like they've dropped 2 squads each. Let's go take a look at what that looks like.
We have FIFA that's currently holding C point. Recursion trying to poke in. They do have some spawn logistics inside of the side cave. Recursion trying to poke in. However, FIFA does have a good setup over here. They have a mana infantry shield. We have some Recursion poking in from the
And there comes Recursion onto C point. C point is now in Recursion's hands.
And with that said, I think it's very clear to say that NC is the OP faction in Nexus. So yeah, go NC.
Mano is with you. Do not falter.
So right now, FIFA is trying to regain control with some armor that they have pulled. They have spotted some spawn logistics that's being driven by Sail, and that Sunday is going to go down, unfortunately. Sail goes down. Saitama Masthead is still alive, and that's not going to be a thing soon. Potentially. Yeah, that's not a thing soon, but they did take out that Sunday, so very good on Recursion for that.
So 30 seconds on Granite Head. It doesn't look like they're going to try and take it, but there's very little from FIFA now pushing here. I'm
so
trying to
now
find
the
where
play,
FIFA's pop is.
Yeah, so now the play is Bitter Gorge. Meanwhile, the timer has started over at Hydroponics Compound. So, very interesting. Obviously, Recursion with the capture over at Arazak that allows them the lattice line over into Hydroponics. They're probably just going to be poking that every now and again. Granite Head Reactor goes through for Recursion with all 3 points captured. That
Bitter Gorge looks like that FIFA has
fast cap action.
Fast. So FIFA now has all of Bitter Gorge. Recursion has not responded to this yet. It looks like they're putting all their eggs in the basket over at Hydroponics. But no, they've pulled out of Hydroponics. Looks like they are at...
Yeah, they don't... So Recursion doesn't need to push that hard currently. Bitter Gorge right now is looking to go for FIFA. And... oh,
look at this. Medieval Welder is by himself, sitting on the side of C Point at Bitter Gorge as an infill, just sitting there.
Have 8 seconds.
Staring at the edge.
6 seconds left. We have some action happening over by B point. B point is resecured by FIFA. Recursion unable to capture that and flip that in time.
Will not be enough time.
Yeah, so FIFA get the capture at Bitter Gorge Garrison. So our current setup right now is Bitter Gorge goes to NC, Granite Head goes to NC, and Erzak goes to NC.
So we got some armor coming from the southeast towards Bitter Gorge here from the Recursion team. Looks like they're going to try and push up towards C Point. They still have people pushing up from a Sunday that's just over to the north.
Over where?
And they're trying to push into this triple stack at Bitter Gorge.
Bitter Gorge. While this is going on, we have some action happening over at Hydroponics Compound. There's a 75% pop increase with Recursion over there. It's probably just a 1-4 right now. Won't worry about that too much. We still have a lot of contention happening over at Bitter Gorge. It's basically 50-50. Recursion capturing C Point. Let's see what they can do with that.
Do you want to try to switch over to my stream again? Let's see if it works. I think I fixed it. Nothing. That's a shame.
Let me.
All right.
I'll try to fix it on the back end. Aha! Ladies and gentlemen, we have multicam, sponsored by Nanite Systems. There it is. So we have Trulius's cam right there. You can see that this is his cam at the top right. So we'll be going back and forth between Trulius and myself for the rest of this match.
All right, so it looks like Recursion is moving up quite a bit of armor from Bitter Gorge. They're probably going to try and push that up towards Lake Canyon once Bitter Gorge goes through. We have looks like a Sunday being dropped at Argent Pass for a heavy anvil. We got Hydroponics, still has good fight going on, 63% to 37.
A point being contested over at Granite Head Reactor is a small contention, and is being contested by FIFA. So, yeah, they're looking to see if they can potentially sneak in a capture over at Granite Head with low pop. But then at the same time, while that's happening, Bitter Gorge is being heavily populated by Recursion. So we will make our way over to Bitter Gorge right now. Alright, we can see some spawn logistics by Recursion. They're using anti-air. Alright, Trulius, what are you taking a look at?
I'm over here at Bitter Gorge. Similar situation. Looks like they're still holding strong. 1 minute left on that cap. I'm still trying to find where FIFA's pop is. Oh, there's a drop on C Point at Bitter Gorge from FIFA. Let's see what happens here. And FIFA takes C Point. Here comes Recursion. They're going to try for this change back here. And this is a good contention. Looks like Recursion took it back.
Let me flip it back over to Granite Head Reactor real quick. We currently have A point being held by Recursion, B and C points being held by FIFA. B and C points are on this half of the base. That's worth noting. So this base can kind of be split in half. So you got this division over here. A point is obviously underground. You have the spawn room over here, and you really have to push across to get to B point, which is in this building over here, and then C point, which is over in this triple stack. So triple stack, and then we also have our powerhouse over there.
So 12 seconds left on Bitter Gorge. It looks like FIFA has another point. We already have a spooky bus sitting at Lake Canyon hole just behind the point on A. Let's go see what's still going on here at Bitter Gorge. And they have B points. So now there's a fight going on over at B point, Bitter Gorge. FIFA looks like they've dropped on top with 10 seconds left for the cap. We'll see if Recursion can take this back in order to make the push onto Slate. And there's the cap. But B point is still contested.
Let me flip it back over to Granite Head Reactor, where we still see the same situation happening. So B and C points are still being held by FIFA strongly. Recursion trying to push into B point. They're trying to push through door 2. It looks like they were unsuccessful through door 3. We have a little bit of contention happening over by door 3 by Clone Cano, and also R2 and some other FIFA over here. They've successfully taken out the recursion that have been held over at door 3. But B point was being contested.
All right, so Slate Canyon is now gone through. Bitter Gorge is done. Recursion owns it, and we're looking like FEFA's making a push with about a squad worth towards A point.
All right, taking it back over to Granite Head. Situation over in the double stack or powerhouse has kind of resolved itself and it's kind of calmed down a little bit. FIFA holding strong over by B point.
All right, FIFA has taken back A point at Slate Canyon. We do still have that spooky bus on the backside on the north there, or southeast, sorry. And it looks like FIFA spotted it. FIFA's keeping a good squad worth here. Recursion's not putting too many eggs in the basket over here, unfortunately.
All right, we have some action happening over by Granite Head Reactor. We have Recursion. It looks like they're contesting C point. I am not able to get into there. But yeah, no, they have strongly captured C point with a decent drop there. They are making their way through double doors. Will they be able to push through? They've taken out a decent amount of dudes. FIFA will have to bring more dudes to Powerhouse. Double doors has been recovered. However, there has been a revive grenade sent out for FIFA. They are all taken out once again and zombied. B point is being flipped, and Recursion now has B point over at Granite Head Reactor. They have, for all intents and purposes, successfully defended what was kind of a stalemate for a little bit. A point being flipped currently over at Granite Head Reactor. Or is it? No. It has been recaptured by Perp. So that's what's going on over at Granite Head. We have some contention happening over by C point. FIFA making their way over into C point. And they have successfully taken out Recursion for the most part. There's no revive grenades on Recursion's side, it looks like. Never mind, there is a revive nade. Zombieing happening. And unfortunately for Recursion, FIFA wins out.
So we're looking at Recursion now is on Hydroponics Compound. They're also on Slate Canyon. They're on the point, but they can't cap. It looks like FIFA has actually gotten a point back at Bitter Gorge in order to keep them without being able to do anything there. Just a little bit late. So FIFA currently has C points. They're currently trying to take that back. With no success.
All right, bringing it back over to Granite Head. We have some air-to-ground cheese happening. FIFA is still holding strong in C point. Recursion holding strong at A and B. FIFA unable to push out of C point, so Recursion doing a good job containing them in there, and or they're just, you know, not pushing out. So Recursion really trying to push through the roof. I'm not sure if they're applying any pressure from the first floor. I don't think they are. A point is being flipped, however, over at Granite Head Reactor. Is that just a little tease? Or it's not just a tease. So A point has been flipped for FIFA. So now Recursion has to address that.
So FIFA's putting quite a bit of pop here at Bitter Gorge. FIFA looks like they've brought some more dudes. We got an equal pop though now. Recursion's come back in a little bit here. They're bringing in some armor. There's a bus, repair bus. A and B are still in Recursion's hands, but this is gonna, as long as they're here, it's gonna hold them from making that next move. But currently, looking at the map, we're looking at Recursion ahead with a 6-3 cap. That means all of these points here are going to be moving towards Recursion until they start making a change of hands here.
Granite Head Reactor has been fully successfully recovered by Recursion. They hold all 3 points.
So FIFA's still on Bitter Gorge. We're going to look at Slate Canyon. They did get the cap, so that doesn't matter. Let's move over to Slate Canyon here and see what's going on. So Recursion's actually putting quite a few more dudes here at Slate Canyon. They've got at least a squad and a half, 2 squads. And here comes FIFA.
So I think it's worth noting right now that Recursion is playing the map. They aren't just going all in on one base, they're starting fires all over the map, which is a really good strategy if you have the team that's capable of doing it. You obviously need guys that are competent on the ground with infantry, which, again, undoubtedly Recursion is competent with infantry. When it comes to Nexus, you don't have vehicle points. You need to have dudes on the point. You need to bring all the dudes on the point and capture the point. So
vehicles don't cap points, man. At the end of the day, that's why we've seen very little from vehicles.
Vehicles are good to soften things up, but you do need infantry to make sure you capture those points. Right now, over at Slate Canyon Hold, from my view, we can definitely see Recursion has a stronghold in Slate Canyon Chemical. Slate Canyon Hold. Slate Canyon Chemical. Jesus Christ.
So many words. Whatever.
Hill Canyon Chemical? I can't think anymore.
I think that's on Esmer. Here comes the Airhammer.
So I'll move it over to your cam. I'll keep an eye on something.
So FIFA's got air. It looks like they do still have air superiority with FIFA. They're starting to drop some guys on the point here at A. Let's see what's going on inside. So it's mostly just an air battle at this point. Lots of air hammers pointing down at the ground.
And with that, Arzak Satcom Hub has been taken away from Recursion. FIFA has captured it with little pop. They just kind of sneaked it in there. So now that has opened up the lattice line for FIFA to start attacking on Recursion's side of the map. So good on FIFA.
So that puts us at a 5-4 for Recursion currently. It does look like FIFA's made a bit more of a push again towards a point at Slate Canyon. But Recursion has wiped them once again.
Recursion going in hard over at Hydroponics Compound. They have dropped a decent amount of resources over here. They have a spawn beacon. They have also a Valkyrie that's currently up. It's being contested by a Liberator.
Here comes a huge contingent of FIFA coming from the southeast side towards Slate Canyon with armor. They've got Totally Not Delta shooting in on the inside here. And here they come. Let's see how FIFA makes this breach.
It's totally not Delta.
It is totally not Delta. All right, Recursion's holding quite strong. And we got people coming from the front side. Not very many. All right, FIFA's going to make another attempt at it. To no avail.
Right, so
and
we're looking over at Hydroponics Compound right now. Recursion holding strong in here. Like I was trying to mention earlier, but unfortunately due to time, I had a hard time kind of, explaining it. But this is what I was talking about. Sometimes on powerhouses, you wouldn't have this wall over here, and so it would give you vision from big stairs and also somewhat double doors rooms. In terms of vision looking in this way, but unfortunately that's not a thing. So
is with you.
Yeah, you kind of, in a way, for this powerhouse, you need to have like at least one person over by the point just to have an idea as far as what's going on there, and then the rest of your team obviously behind cover. So and obviously depending on how you want to weigh that out.
That was interesting.
I see we're looking at a dead person.
Yeah, it was someone with the Plant Side Battle's name.
Do we cast dead people, Trulius?
Somebody with the Plant Side Battle's name. All right, so here's the battle going on. Slate Canyon, the point's already gone through for Recursion. FIFA's making one more push, and they have taken it over.
Ah, no, the feed.
Lots of dead
Trulius,
bodies. What happened?
No, it's just kind of lagging right now. It's a slideshow.
That's better than nothing.
Oh, we're over here by Hydroponics Compound. Recursion still holding pretty good. Yeah, that capture that FIFA did over at Arazak just kind of got nullified once this capture got going over at Hydroponics Compound. They have to recover it. Otherwise, there's going to be two different lasses that they'll be able to attack Nexus Omega.
All right, so FIFA's coming in here at Hydroponics. It does look like they're going to try and make a breach. And they're coming from 3 different points. Doors 1, 2, and 3 on the backside.
Door 3 has opened up. So FIFA now capturing the point. rest of the Recursion team is over by double doors going into the big stairs and also small stairs, that general compartment of the building. They're buying time currently, it looks like. They're trying to get some more man so that way they can bring more dudes onto the point. And FEFA kind of doing a good job also doing the exact same on the other side. So
this modified powerhouse is definitely a very different way of battling. You no longer have the overhang where you can actually jump down or throw C4, because now we currently see it split. We got FIFA on the ground, we got Recursion with the high ground, but they have no way of connecting other than going down the long stair or the short stair. Currently, Recursion is taking a point back. There is still FIFA contesting, but this looks like Recursion has pushed them off the point.
Indeed. So Recursion holding this space as well. So if they can get this space, they can start timer over at Nexus Omega. Not looking good for FIFA currently.
So Hydroponics, 40 seconds left. Slate Canyon is still being contested. Half pop for each member. Let's go take a quick look. FIFA's still on the point, but Recursion's trying to make a push with a spooky bus on the backside, being repaired by Salibot, or Sailbot. Sailbot.
Sail. That's good old Sail.
Sail. Oh, there's Smoochie dead. Alright, well, Recursion is definitely bringing up the armor. They've got quite a bit of armor sitting here at Slate Canyon.
Hydroponics compound has 10 seconds left. Recursion is still holding strong inside of the building. FIFA does not appear to have an organized push anywhere around any part of the building. This is going to Recursion. That has opened up Nexus Omega.
It does look like FIFA's got at least a squad and a half sitting over here at Slate Canyon. They really don't want Recursion to take this one. But Recursion is starting to respond. They're coming in with all this armor. They've got beacons down. And push was completely destroyed by some C4. And
So
meantime, they're still holding.
Good. Jesus almighty. Tan's taken out Recursion almost all by himself. Coolest comes in to support him down. But Prep, Perp, Laserbot, Jesslyn have come in. They are being met by 3 FIFA, so this is a 3v3 currently. They are contesting over the point at Nexus Omega. All Recursion dudes inside of the room go down. There is still a bolter on that door that I just kind of looked at. FIFA holding inside of the building with infantry, feet on the ground by the point. Recursion trying to push in. Perp coming in there with some shoddy goodness. And Recursion have taken the point over at A relatively confidently. Now FIFA has to come in and pierce through.
Slate Canyon, we just had no S drop on top of Recursion. They had the bottom floor, but they were pushed off by FIFA. FIFA has now recaptured Slate Canyon. Recursion is still wanting this. They bring in maxes at this point. Here comes Medieval Welder, the man himself, pushing the stairs. Let's see how he does.
I think there's too many feet on your stream, Trulius, so I'll just bring it back to my end for now.
Give me what's her?
Nothing. Alright, so FIFA is trying to push in to Nexus Omega. They're trying a couple of entrances. First of all, they're pushing in through this part of the building. I'm not exactly too sure. Okay, hold up. Alright, we have a push developing over at Nexus Omega. FIFA going all in for the defense. Recursion not dedicating too many people for Nexus Omega. I don't think that's something that they're too worried about. They're not too worried about warp gating immediately. Obviously, warp gating is a great thing to do. Their defensive posture with the small amount of people they have is pretty good. They have their backs against the wall, so they don't have to worry about like working behind themselves. But unfortunately, they are being outgunned and outnumbered. So
here's the problem. This Nexus Omega, Recursion only dropped maybe 6 to 12 people on here. FIFA has now just responded with their entire platoon.
yeah.
So this is going to now pull everybody out of every other point. That means Slate Canyon is going to probably go through, and that leaves Nexus Omega as the last cap at this point.
Yeah, well, FIFA just recovered Nexus Omega. Recursion has not exactly responded in kind. They do have some numbers here. However, they are not matching pound for pound. It looks like numbers are slightly going up. Recursion still has time to try to recontest before the lattice opens up for a back cap for FIFA. In terms of what was that, hydroponics compound. So Recursion trying to prevent that from happening, I think. Although I don't think they consider it too high priority right now, which is the reason why they're not matching the pound for pound numbers. So
makes sense. At this point, it does look like they are putting a little bit more into Slate Canyon. They're bringing a few maxes into the point. And it looks like they want both of these points all at once. Slate Canyon, they currently have 56% pop, 12 to 24. FIFA is starting to respond just a little, but it looks like Recursion is still holding.
So,
right.
I think it's worth noting, I want to give kudos to the infantry play by FIFA. Typically, you would see Recursion being able to outgun overpop, like slight overpop to sometimes incredibly overpop. But FIFA is doing a pretty good job dealing with Recursion infantry. So I do want to give a little bit of a shout out to them. They're doing a good job despite how the match is kind of turning out currently. There is still 18 minutes left, however, so
FIFA's doing a good job of staying together. With every push, with every defend, they throw dudes at them. It's never just 2 or 3. It's usually 6+. And that seems to be what works quite well that we've seen from Outfit War so far. You need to drop everybody in at once. One move very quickly, and you can usually break or defend anything.
So, as mentioned, Recursion was unable to successfully reflip the timer at Nexus Omega, so FIFA have started the timer over at Hydroponics Compound, and their current setup involves nobody on the point. So that might have just been, they might have just been trying to give themselves an opportunity to breathe a little bit with what was going on at Omega.
You are better than this. Show them.
So that's kind of what's going on with that.
So Slate Canyon is now contested again by FIFA. FIFA has now gotten the point, and they are now... Oh, really? Okay.
Yes.
And they are now taking what is left of Recursion sitting on the southeast side of Slate Canyon.
I'll move over to Slate Canyon. Yeah, so we can see over here, they have spawn logistics. They don't have spawn logistics.
I got a tank at least.
Yeah, they have a tank, but it's not manned. So there you go, FIFA cleaning house. Again, doing a pretty good job with that infinite book right there. Featured by 99 Systems. We have some Recursion poking with some armor. Are they trying to do a little bit of a small armor fire team of sorts that Recursion's pulling from Bitter Gorge? They have, what was that? Lightning, Skyguard. What are they trying to do here?
I don't know. They're shooting a Skyguard at another piece of armor. Or, oh no, it's at a player. Okay. So it does look like Recursion's actually got some dedicated armor players, which is not something we've seen from them, at least so far in these iterations. We'll deal with it later. Alright, so Recursion making another push on Slate Canyon. They put more spawn logistics over in the southeast side. They are shooting inside to the hole at this point with a walker, but okay. And they are on the point.
Totally not Delta. Trying to support no regrets. Pushing in with some lightnings, however, they will be outnumbered in this engagement here unless FIFA pulls more armor to push through the road.
I'm going to fly over to Hydroponics. It does look like we have an equal pop sitting there. We do have quite a fight going on in here right now. It looks like they're making a push for the point. FIFA's currently on point. Recursion's making one heck of a push coming from the northeast. And here comes FIFA... Sorry, here comes Recursion on short stairs.
Short stairs and also door 3.
And door
coming
3.
in hot.
And they're on point. FIFA still has top.
FIFA recovering from door 1. Strong push.
FIFA still
I don't know
owns
what they
top
were.
floor.
Yeah, they're going for top floor. Oh yeah, no, they have the pop now. They have the pop inside the building. There is the zombie resonate. Recursion unable to do anything with that resonate.
Show them.
And that's it.
But so far, I've definitely noticed that FIFA has mostly kept the air game under control. We've seen armor coming from Recursion to try and deal with that, lots of sky guards, but unfortunately the air hammers still have superiority, still coming in strong on a lot of these hills. Right now here at Hydroponics, we still have, looks like 1, 2, 3, 4 Reavers sitting up here shooting down on whatever Recursion is bringing, and they're just picking them off one by one. This armor is not doing what they're hoping for.
Has unfortunately been spotted. It's being taken down. It has been taken down. So FIFA no longer with spawn logistics nearby.
Oof, these air hammers are absolutely just decimating whatever Recursion is starting to throw at them. It looks like any sort of spawn logistics, they're actually coming from the spawn room at Hydroponics, and that's actually their downfall, being that this air is just malicious.
What else is going on in the map? Recursion going in strong for whatchamacallit. I can't read. Mouse on my camera has ADHD. Slate Canyon hold. Recursion holding strong over here, not being met by any FIFA.
No, it's looking like FIFA has put in most of their basket to Hydroponics. It does look like Nexus Omega, they already have a heavy anvil they just dropped. That is from Recursion, so they are going to be going all in on Nexus Omega by the looks of it.
Yep. Recursion with tons of dudes on the point. Not tons, but decent amount.
Recursion's still making just a couple people here pushing on the point of Hydroponics.
There is the Valkyrie drop. One Valkyrie drop. Another one coming in from the cliff. Being denied though. And FIFA, will they be able to recapture in time? No, they won't be able to. Recursion has captured the point. They have captured the Hex. And FIFA is getting massacred as they enter the building, but they are pushing back in. Unfortunately for FIFA, they will not be able to capture this point because Nexus Omega has been started.
That was extremely close. Recursion was on the point, and that cap went through just in time in order for that FIFA push to not go through its late.
So now
Recursion hasn't brought too many dudes yet, but they do have spawn logistics here. They have a max on point, and they are starting to bring in the dudes.
So we are over here over at Nexus Omega with Recursion holding 60% overpop. 11 minutes left on the match. Recursion with 7 bases under their name. FIFA with 2 bases under their name. Recursion knocking on the Omega Warp Gate. FIFA trying to hold back Recursion for the remainder of the match because they are slowly knocking onto their Warp Gate. Looks like FIFA is attempting to do a little small push. They're inching their way in, nothing too strong. Recursion is matching them slightly, enough to prevent them from being able to do an outright push straight into the building. I wonder where Recursion air is right now, because this would be an absolute hellhole for air to ground.
I don't think they have any power on the air. It looks like FIFA still holds most of the air. It does look like Recursion's trying to push some. They have some sitting at the southwest pushing in.
FIFA is attempting to crash into a Nexus Omega from different angles. We see some people coming in from top, some people pushing it from the sides, some people pushing it from the front doors. They might be trying to do a combined push from all angles. They definitely have, if this match has shown at all, FIFA definitely has the infantry game to be able to do this. It's just a matter of execution at this point, whether they can actually coordinate well enough, or if Recursion throws a curveball in there that prevents the push from being ideal for FIFA.
So it does look like FIFA's brought up spawn logistics. They have a couple tanks in order to try and push out the Recursion spawn logistics. It does look like Recursion has taken over the air now. They do now own the air game, and they are flying over top of Nexus Omega. We do have some tanks coming from the northwest for Recursion. They're going to try and take out whatever this spawn logistics that FIFA is bringing up.
a lot
and
of
FIFA is
name
making a
tags.
push. That's right. So they've made a push. They have the back end. It looks like they're going to try and make the move in.
They're being supported by their medics. Good to have medics. We always need medics. Will they be able to push in? Good lord. Left, you're coming in with the Scat Max.
That pleb tier is definitely doing its work. C4 after C4. Recursion is very well known for their C4, and here's more and more. All right.
We have the Defecator with the shield up.
Did you call it Defecator?
I always call it a Defecator.
I love it.
It shits out a shield.
You're not wrong. All right. Well, the rotation's not working for FIFA. FIFA has lost most of their spawn logistics at this point. They now have to either push from. They now have to push probably either from the warp gate with more spawn logistics or from the spawn room.
I think a orbital strike is of order.
I don't think we've seen any steel rains from FIFA either. I'm wondering if they actually decided to stock any for this or if they've made any in the meantime. We've seen one OS. We have a Galaxy coming in now. Galaxy coming from northeast from the warp gate.
Galaxy coming in hot, coming in fast
happening.
with FIFA. What's going to happen? Are they dropping how many people? They're dropping a full squad down. It looks like they're trying to... They are coordinated and are trying to push from the rear end of the building. There goes the orbital strike. They sort of Damocles from downtown. It is off-center, so they are trying to use it as a propulsion device to push FIFA out and basically not get them into position correctly. However, FIFA didn't make it on time into the building to where they couldn't be pushed hard off of their positioning.
They're still pushing really hard from the back end, though. They do have a couple maxes in here, but it does look like Recursion rotated and has completely wiped whatever was left of FIFA on the back end. 2 minutes and 30 seconds left. Does look like FIFA now has good spawn logistics on the back side of Nexus Omega. Whether they use that, time will tell. They are sending a couple people from the spawn room here and there.
Tiny baby Max main Slatter 1 who is not in a Max.
Well, that's just ludicrous.
This is blasphemy. They are pushing in from the powerhouse portion of Nexus Omega. It's the
NC orbital from...
Well, they're both
FIFA.
NC, damn it.
I'm still calling it that because it's blue.
There's the Omega orbital strike. Will that be good enough for people to do a push? Looks like they have been able to push
inside. They're inside.
They're pushing in. They have... This is looking good for FIFA.
I don't know.
I know.
They do have maxes inside. The maxes are pushing. Oh, yeah, look at that. The maxes are in.
That the wheel goes round and round, and this match continues.
Wheels are overrated.
So FIFA with the recovery over there, it wasn't as intense as a 1 second recovery from the previous recursion match against Cops, but good job on FIFA using that OS, dealing with the previous OS fight that was used by recursion.
So we do have 6 minutes left. I think FIFA would be smart to maybe make a couple moves on some of these back caps with no pop. With that 6 minutes left, that does give them enough time to maybe take another base or two back. But unfortunately, it looks like the Recursion has put a couple on Hydroponics Compound, and that's where the cutoff is. So it looks like whatever FIFA decides to do here, they're going to have to make a decision fast. But so far, it looks like they're just trying to push Recursion out of this base completely rather than just off the point.
That is what they gotta do.
Well, with 6 minutes left, you do want to try and take another base here somewhere without just having two. I guess three at this point.
At this point, you're looking at map cheese.
Yeah.
You're really looking at this and you're like, all right, so Recursion has given us Hydroponics Compound to work with. We have SatCom Hub to work with. What if we just tried to go ahead and... Well, I don't even think they could do a full cutoff at this point. So, they did the fast cap here. Yeah, no, they're not going to be able to do like a big flip in time. So, as far as I'm concerned, this match is going to occur because all other timers indicate that it's going to be incredibly difficult for people to come back. But we will continue to broadcast the fight that is happening over at Nexus Omega. FIFA holding out, doing as good as they can, trying to push into the Nexus Omega point, preventing the warp gate situation.
We still have quite a good fight going on here at Nexus Omega with Recursion back on the point. FIFA now trying to make their push back here. Coming from the powerhouse, and there is
the sword of Damocles, the Hail Mary from downtown. Was people going to be able to do with it? There it comes.
I think that's just for the maxes, because they've destroyed their own maxes by doing that as well.
It's NC, so.
That's true. It is NC.
For what it's worth, this is peak NC
here
right
comes
now.
It is true. That's very true. So we've got the Resonades coming out on the southeast side. And here comes the Max. Heartbrain and Totally Not Delta.
Heartbrain goes down. Totally Not Delta's still staying up, doing as much as he can. Tand goes down. Totally Not Delta all by himself. Pulls out the shield. There's some Resonades popping for FIFA and also Recursion. FIFA have recovered the point.
That is another recovery.
Yeah, that is another recovery. So, good job on FIFA.
They were down to about 1:30 before they were able to capture that point back.
Alright, so we have 2 minutes left in the game, in the match.
So here comes the beacon that Recursion is now dropping on the northwest side. And they're going to try and make a powerhouse push coming in from the northwest side. Let's see, FIFA is going to start rotating, as I suspected. And they are putting everything over here at Nexus Omega. And we see some Havoc grenades. We haven't seen very much of that so far. But it looks like they were able to wipe that Recursion push off the northwest side. More spawn logistics coming in for Recursion that they are going to continue putting here at the northwest side. Looks like they're going to also put one underneath.
Oh my god.
For the stair push.
Sunday driving up.
Alright, well with 1:45 left, this space is no longer in contention. It cannot be capped by Recursion anymore. At this point, it probably will just be have some fun and shoot each other as much as you can.
Peekins. Alright, well, as this match comes to a close, Trulius, how do you think FIFA did? How do you think Recursion did? I think it was a pretty good match. It wasn't a warp gate, but...
I think so too. I like what FIFA was doing with their pushes, their breaches, and their defenses. They did actually kick Recursion off several times, and on other bases they were quite strong on it. The only difference was Recursion played the map better. I believe that when it came down to their infantry game, I think FIFA actually took just slightly over Recursion on how they played, and a lot of that was the Zerg strategy that we've seen work quite well here on Outfit Wars.
So when you look at the stats on the overlay, Recursion have 2,061 kills. FIFA comes out with 1,400. So Recursion outgunned them by around 400 kills.
So I wonder how you read that. Like, is that individual kills? Like, is that just because of their defenses? Is it their attacks? Because from everything that I saw, their Zerg play worked really well. Yeah, it probably meant more deaths because you're pushing everybody in, but it also means that you're getting on your points faster. You're getting on those points, you're pushing people off, you're getting those revives, and I think FIFA did a really good job with that.
So,
but like I said, unfortunately, Recursion just played the map better and was able to move around the map faster than FIFA.
Alright, so that is it. Recursion is victorious. Alpha captures this instance of Nexus. So, good job to Recursion. We are not doing post-game interviews because I suck at post-game interviews, and Trulius doesn't have any questions for post-game either. That being said, you know, I think, again, we had a good match. Let's go ahead and get caught up with the rest of the outfit wars. Let me head over into Sanctuary right now. Let me position myself over by the statues. Server. Yeah, so good game to Recursion for that win. And it looks like we're kind of in the middle of a TTA gathering here.
Could use some medic here.
Oh, fancy.
So, yeah, anyway. So let's take a look at the outfit matchups for the rest of this weekend. So first of all, let's go ahead and acknowledge the current matches that have concluded. First of all, with Recursion winning that match against FIFA for the #1 match of the week, rank 1 versus rank 2. Then we had Mother Killer versus Dire. Dire coming out strong with that at a 2-1. For TTA versus Go Hard Gaming, TTA comes out with 2-1 against Go Hard Gaming, so good job to Terran Alliance. And then we have Drunk Division coming out strong against Legion of Coffee. For tomorrow's matchups, we have the following. Fate versus Viking. That will be happening at 8 p.m. Pacific time. Also happening on Planetside Battles. Sammy versus Unity. That will be happening at 8:30 p.m. We have WTAC versus Araxis Iron Guard happening at 8 p.m. at the same time as Fate versus Viking. And then lastly, we have Hell's Angels versus TWC at 8:30 p.m. Pacific. But yeah, no. So if y'all are looking for interviews, Cammy is asking for interviews right now. So head over to Cammy's stream if you're looking for those kinds of things. Trulius, is there anything else you kind of want to add after watching today's stream? I think Recursion did well. I mean, obviously they won, but I mean, they were playing the map slow. It didn't seem like they were playing hard for the Warp Gate. Because they weren't playing hard for the Warp Gate, they were able to kind of control where FIFA was going. They were limiting their options, and you know, with that last lattice that they kind of gave them to work with, it would be easy for them to kind of shut that down and just keep everyone focused on Nexus Omega. Not too crazy in the air. At one point, we did see like a small tank ball moving into that, whichever base it is with the 5 bridges over by the Omega side. So, yeah, I mean, that's what I could take. That's what I could take from the match for the most part. Again, Recursion, strong outfit, strong team on Connery, definitely up there.
Absolutely. You know me, I like to look for metas and see what's working, what's not over every game. I've watched almost every single game so far over the past 3 weeks, and I do see quite a few things that are emerging. You know, movement on the map is king. Air game is king. And ultimately, the pushes on points for attacks seem to be, you have to zerg them. You have to make those pushes. You have to get on point fast. And everybody needs to make that push all at once. It's not to say that that's not able to be countered, as we have seen it be countered, but that seems to be what makes it. Unfortunately, in today's match, we did see Recursion take the cake when it came to playing the map. They were able to move around faster. They were able to really just outplay FIFA on the map. They were pests in all the right places, and FIFA were unable to respond to it in time in order for those paths not to go through every single time. On FIFA's part, they did make the breaches quite good. Unfortunately, they just weren't fast enough in doing it, and we see what the results were in today's game. I'm still curious to see if something changes. We haven't seen armor be very popular so far. Even today in Recursion's match, it didn't look like they did very much outside of maybe defending a couple spawn logistics, but at the end of the day, Air seemed to still control the flow of the game, and definitely held Recursion back.
All right. So with all of that said, we're gonna go ahead and close the stream down. So Trulius, what match are you going to be participating in tomorrow?
I'm playing for Fate tomorrow, so whatever time that is, that's the 8 p.m. match, and I think you will be casting that.
I think I will be. So yeah, so that will be Fate versus Viking. So look out for that match. My boy Trulius is going to be in there. He'll be doing as rel as he can.
Oh, hype.
And yeah, that's basically it here over at Planet Side Battles. Post-game interview being done by Cammy. I am Falco. Thank you for having me for casting today, and also for a decent amount of Connery matches. I'll continue doing these until the end of the season. I'd also like to thank Trulius for obviously being a regular co-caster with me and attempting to work out all the technical things when it comes to our stream. Unfortunately, things were kind of hectic today, but we'll probably iron those things out as we get closer to championship round. So until next time, again, I'm Falco. This is Trulius. We thank you for joining in for the PlanetSide Battles stream. We will go ahead and catch you in the next stream tomorrow, whenever that'll be, whether it be you watching Miller, Cobalt, Emerald, or the next Connery matchup here on PlanetSide Battles. Viking versus Fate. So we'll catch you we'll catch you tomorrow. So later, guys. We will see you next time.